You're watching NASA TV.
Good afternoon and welcome to NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. I'm Sandra Jones and we're here today to discuss an upcoming spacewalk series outside the International Space Station. 2 spacewalks are scheduled in the month of October on the USOS segment. The first is October 12th. The second is scheduled for October 20th. This will be the 268th and 269th spacewalk in support of International Space Station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. Today's briefing will address the programmatic and operational significance of the spacewalk, as well as all of the detailed procedures. Our briefers today are Dana Weigel, Deputy Manager for the International Space Station Program, Elias Murmo, Spacewalk Flight Director, Farouk Sabur, U.S. Spacewalk 89 Officer, and Sandy Fletcher, U.S. Spacewalk 90 Officer. We'll first start with some brief initial remarks from our briefers before opening it up for questions. We'll be taking questions on our phone bridge as well as on social media using the hashtag AskNASA. If you're on the phone, please press *1 to submit your question. And again, if you're on social media, use the hashtag AskNASA. So we'll now begin with opening comments from Dana Weigel.
Welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in today. We're here to talk about the pair of upcoming spacewalks, the first of which, as you heard, is Thursday, October 12th. The first one will be conducted by NASA astronaut Laurel O'Hara and ESA astronaut Andy Mogensen. We've got a science objective for this EVA where we'll be looking at microorganisms that might exist on the exterior surface of the space station. Bacteria and fungi live in and around humans, and so of course we've got these microorganisms inside the space station as well. And there are some transportation mechanisms that allow for the gas that's inside ISS to move outside, primarily vents that we have for things like life support systems. So we're really curious to understand what microorganisms we might have outside and if any of those are able to survive the harsh environment out in space. The crew will take some samples in a couple different locations and then we'll bring those down to the ground to do the analysis. The crew will also install a high-definition camera which has with it an upgraded wireless access point. That's going to help improve and extend our wireless capability outside of the vehicle. Another unique aspect of the camera task is that we will do another demonstration or test along with it. We'll fly the arm from the ground with an EVA crew member on it. Of course, we have flown the arm from the ground for many years, but in this case, the novel part is having a crew member on the end of it. During the EVA, we'll also have the crew do some fit checks to help us with the future planned upgrade of the alpha magnetic spectrometer. This will be the first spacewalk for both Laurel and Andy. Laurel will be EV1, wearing the red stripes on her suit, and Andy will have the unmarked suit. Our egress is planned around 7:30 a.m. Central Time, and the EVA duration is planned for around 6 hours. The second EVA will be on Friday, October 20th. That EVA will have NASA astronauts Jasmine Mogbelli and Laurel O'Hara. On that EVA, we hope to remove and retrieve a failed communications box. That's called the RFG, or radio frequency group. We'd like to bring that box home and refurbish it so we have it available as a future spare in case it's ever needed. The crew will also be replacing one of 12 trundle bearing assemblies. The trundle bearing assemblies help rotate our solar arrays. They're attached to what's called a SARJ. That's the Solar Array Alpha Rotary Joint. We've got a trundle bearing that's starting to degrade, and we need them to operate smoothly so we can easily track our solar arrays as station orbits around the Earth. That will be Jasmine's first EVA. She will be EV1, so she'll be wearing the red stripes for that EVA, and Laurel will be EV2 in the unmarked suit. That EVA is planned for about 6.5 hours. You probably heard the great news that Frank Rubio returned last week aboard the Soyuz spacecraft, so he's back home on Earth after completing a record-setting mission. He spent 371 days in space, which is the longest duration mission for a single space flight. So wonderful to have him back home with us. Looking ahead a bit, we've got a Russian EVA on October 25th. That's EVA 61 for the Russians with cosmonaut Kononenko in tube. And then right around the corner after that, in early November, we've got our SpaceX 29 Dragon cargo mission, which will bring food, supplies, and spares, and a lot of research to ISS. So as usual, it's always busy on board Space Station. We're really looking forward to these upcoming EVAs, and with that, I will hand it to Elias, the lead flight director.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Elias Murmo, and I will be the lead flight director for the second of the two EVAs that we have talked about so far. That's the RFG-2 removal to bring it back inside for refurbishment. Rebecca Wingfield will actually be the flight director lead for the first EVA, which we call the microorganisms EVA. Just going a little bit more into details on the two EVAs, Laurel will actually be the one doing